Wagwan, are you there? What's good? And you know who this is, baby. The #1 podcast in America, dedicated to all you kings and queens of color, homies and homettes, shotters, woo gals, G-boys, and charges. The one and only Jerk Jollof and Collard Greens podcast.
How you day? What a guan? What's good? Nah, I ain't doing that. It's your boy Chunky, and as promised, I'm here to bring you part 2 of Doubling Down with the lovely ladies of Allegedly Credible. If you haven't listened to part 1, go back and listen to episode 17 and take a listen to the incredible content and get caught up. Before we get the episode started, you know what to do. Smash that like button, swipe that follow indicator, and share with your goddamn friends. Without further ado, run it!
Like, Mom, why were you so ride or die? You're not supposed to have my back.
All right, so I think we toppled the heavy parts of the discussion, and we're going to jump into like 3 more questions before we do the hit or miss, which will be a blitz. So let's jump into some of the biases and double standards of gender. And I will pose this question first to Allegedly Credible. Can you share an experience or scenario where your gender may have had a positive or may have had a positive impact or given you the advantage in a particular situation?
Yeah, with my job, my boss is very traditional. He was like, I'm a receptionist at an insurance agency. So he was very traditional in being like, I don't want a male there. It has to be a female. And luckily for me, I just met all the qualifications, and my job is very like, okay, we wanted a female for this position. So if I was a male, I would have never got the position at the job that I'm at right now. So luckily, I just happened to be female and everything. So I feel like that worked out for me. If I was a male, I would not have the job that I have now.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that too, because I definitely wouldn't have been asked to do a lot of the female modeling gigs that I was presented. So, and if I was a male, then I definitely wouldn't have gotten those female modeling positions. So that's why I personally don't think that gender gave me any type of advantage. But if it was like a female oriented situation, that's the only way I can see it.
Facts. And let's hear it from vice versa. Let's hear from the fellas. Is there a situation, scenario? I mean, I could think of one when you go to the car shop, we're least likely to be like conned and duped. Like saying, oh, you need to get this done, you need to get that done. So it's kind of like the expectation that all men know cars, even though that's not even true.
Absolutely not. I don't know my radiator from my femurator.
What about you guys?
Nah, but I think in general for me, I mean, I have all sisters. You know, we walked life a lot together. We've done a lot of things together, and I've seen some different interactions just because of the fact that they are females. I think, you know, ultimately good and bad. You know, sometimes it plays to your advantage because you're a female. Like, I'm trying to get into the club. I can't get in the club. All the boys standing outside trying to get in, and girls just walk in there. They ain't gotta pay no cover. They ain't gotta buy no bottles. They just walk
put
in.
These heels on real quick.
I know, but the dudes at the end of the day, we standing out there trying to figure it out. We gotta worry about dress codes and everything. You know, but then some
make it.
I mean, pay for the. You have to pay for the
party.
You have to pay for the bottle service, and the girls
just chill.
Get in for free.
Yeah, man.
Well, you know what? I just want to say this because we actually had a previous conversation about that, because Daniel was saying that, oh, well, you know, guys buy me the drinks at the club, and then I said that ain't never happened to me, not no way, not no how. Yo, and I don't know what I mean. I'm not gonna say that it's a gender thing. I just know that didn't happen to me. It was more an individual.
I can definitely say I know I got drinks because I was a woman. You know, I know that. I know.
I have to say, be real, no cap.
I know that.
Of course.
I mean,
But
so how
what's
we?
so funny? My husband got more drinks at the bar than I did from men.
Is he in Atlanta? In Atlanta?
And they were straight. Like, bro, can you slide one my way? Like, thirsty?
Or maybe they passed it to him like, hey, sir, could you pass this to that lady next to
No, they I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there.
So like, how would you feel as a dude if like a woman bought you a drink, like to us? So
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't I feel nice?
Yeah, it would be actually. I mean, honestly, I think.
Yeah, go on. Pay for it.
I mean, I'm not going front like it's never happened. So straight up, no cap. But,
Like,
so it definitely takes me. I mean,
it wasn't a sympathy drink for you because you're short.
Bruh, yeah, but I'm 10 times more sexy than you, brother. So you can take an L.
Oh snap!
Shot fire.
Sexiness competition.
Nah, it's all good.
Well, I mean, Chunky already beat us on the morning thing, so don't
Different strokes for different folks.
No, but I think in general that if it was the other way around, sometimes it's like some of the experiences that females get. Like I feel like if it was a guy, if I got some of those experiences, I would probably be a little bit uncomfortable though. I would read the situation. Like if a bunch of chicks start buying me drinks, I don't know. I think I'd be really, I don't know. I think I'd be a little bit uncomfortable because I don't know. I feel like part of the dichotomy of men and women is a little bit of chase. It's a little bit of a chase, you know what I mean? And if a chick start buying me drinks, I'm like, yo, especially in Atlanta where they be mugging people, they might set you up. You walk into your car and next thing you know.
Mona Lisas.
Yeah, for real.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the next one. In anyone's opinion, I'll lead this off with the fellas here. Is there a superior gender? If so, what makes said superior gender?
Oh, hell yeah, there's a superior gender. Is that even a question?
What'd you say?
I said, hell yeah, that's a superior gender.
Which one was?
I'm listening.
Oh, you already know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say females, like, and it's like I said, for me personally, it was the role model I had was my mother, right? So you're talking about a woman gives birth to a child, takes care of that child, does everything and then some, goes through a shit ton of pain that we don't even know about, doesn't complain about it, and still achieves throughout the day. I'll be honest with you. I catch a cold, I'm out for the count. It's just like, don't touch me, don't bother me, let me just lay here. My body hurts. And moms get sick, they still take care of their children, they still cook, they still do everything. And it's just like, women are a hell of a lot smarter than men when it comes down to a lot of different things, as we do some stupid stuff here and there. So I would say hands down that females are a superior gender for that one reason. I'll always just stick to that. So even as my daughter grows up, I'm going to tell her straight up, you are the superior gender. You are the most amazing thing that God has ever created. Don't you ever forget that and let no one take that away from you. If I have a son, I'm like, tough luck. You're not the best thing. You gotta deal with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's real though. I mean, like, that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was like, without women, none of us would be here. Like,
without men too.
Without men too.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
I swear.
Yeah.
I mean,
let me hold up. No, cuz no.
Let me.
All right, go ahead.
But like, I mean, to be honest though, I feel like it's a wash. But if because like, I mean, we all got great qualities. The men got great quality. From a society standpoint, I think people think men are superior because we have the more highly
we're paid more.
We are considered stronger. There's like we can even look at like the NBA and versus WNBA and kind of look at the revenue and all of that stuff. Like, so from a society standpoint, you can make the assumption that the men are considered superior. But I think looking at even Chunky's example, women give birth and all of that stuff, I think it could. I mean, I think it's a wash.
Well, the reason why I disagree completely is not, I mean, again, I don't disagree that women are superior. I just don't think that there is a superior gender in general. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, nothing to take away from women, because I feel like there's certain things that women can do that men can't obviously do, like give birth. I'm never gonna be able to do that, even though I would love to try to see what that experience is like, so that I can really kind of.
You sure about that?
Yeah, because I want to empathize. I mean, how can I truly empathize and sympathize with a woman?
Because she told you.
Yeah, you can empathize by doing whatever she's asking you to do.
No, but technically that is sympathy because you can't experience it, so you really couldn't empathize. So
exactly.
That's sympathy, not empathy.
Thank you. My vocab is on point.
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Talk about your vocab.
Anyway,
go ahead,
no, but then my only thing is that, like, so it's interesting because we talked about gender roles, and okay, the birth part I can't argue against that, right?
They carry
But-
for 9 months, bro. You do
Okay,
that? Men do that?
I mean,
Let's get his point. Let's get his point. Let's get his point.
Hold up, hear me out.
I gotta say that.
Let him get his point. Let's get his
I'm
point.
not taking away any of that, and I don't think there should be. Again, all props go to that. To giving birth is a very amazing process. Kudos to the moms. Kudos to our homie Mel. You know, but I just want to say that just because of that one thing doesn't mean that it devalues everything else that a man can bring to the table. And I just feel like as a man, it's like I feel like as a society, we're gradually, slowly devaluing what men bring to the table and saying that men are not as valuable in the sense. And like, I mean, speaking for me, but I feel like women, sometimes I hear women say that, you know, you can live in a world and you don't need men. You know, I don't believe there's a world that can exist without women, but I don't feel like it should be the other way around, that there should be a world that can exist without men either. Like we all bring valuable things to the table. We all contribute. You know, you need my piece, my sperm in order to create life. And now with gender roles being where guys are, you know, they're stay-at-home dads, more and more it's a commonplace now. There's wives that are going out into the workplace. Those lines are gray now. So with that being said, I still think that both sides equal value, and then both can live without each other.
Just real quick. So you think that if there's a superior race, the other gender is devalued? So if women are superior, then men are now devalued as to what they bring to the table. I mean, I don't see it that way. I see it as just like, okay, if we name a superior gender, it's just a superior gender. It doesn't take away from the things that you do, the things that you accomplish, and the things that you've done. Just like winning first and second place doesn't mean that person that won second place didn't try hard and put all the effort into it. You just came in second place, and no one can rip out the devotion that you gave to it. So I will agree to disagree in a sense that if there's a superior gender, that's fine. Doesn't take away from you as a man or us as men. Like, I don't have to put a flag in the ground and say, well, you know, I'm a man, you got to value me. If you don't value me as a woman, maybe you're not the right woman I need to be talking to, or woman I need to be talking to. All men have value. All genders have value. We're just having that opinion, but it seems like you're kind of hurt inside, and I want to come over there and give you a hug and tell you.
Oh, please cut it out.
Because I was just gonna say, I don't think men are. I think, Steve, like, and I know you probably didn't mean it this way, but to me, I do think that the balance is too heavily favored on men. I still think there's a lot of balance that still needs to happen in this world, where I still think that we're not where we need to be as a society. So I don't think men are necessarily being devalued. I just think that shit is just kind of balancing out a little bit more than it has been.
I kind of see like the main thing people point out when it comes to identify the superior gender is ultimately things that either gender cannot do, right? Mm-hmm. Like men obviously cannot give birth the same way women cannot shoot sperm. So it's kind of like, you know, when you rely on the binary opposite of what either gender can do, to me, it doesn't really present a strong argument.
No, just not.
Yeah, but if all men disappear tomorrow, mm-hmm. women could use the sperm that's in sperm banks to populate the earth. Right? That wouldn't hold on, but that wouldn't happen the other way around.
Yes,
right?
It can happen the other way around. How can it?
Why women
we have frozen eggs.
Frozen eggs, exactly.
So if you want to use that,
who would carry the baby?
How would the baby? You can grow the baby
artificial insemination. Sure. Like they have all these, like, especially now.
No. I won't get into it, but I'm very well aware of the IVF. I'm saying, who would carry the baby? How would babies be incubated in today's society? From what I understand, it has to be within a woman. So if all women go away tomorrow, we wouldn't be able to procreate anymore, because who would hold the baby? Men can't.
There's legal reasons why it has to be. You can't grow a baby outside of a woman. That's the only thing. There's a legal barrier there.
Yeah.
But if you take away the legal barrier and you have all the eggs, you can still grow a child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So then again, if women have
but law needs to change. But law needs to change. All this stuff needs to happen, right? For that to
same way the other way around.
But then the same way goes the other way around.
The other way around.
Because you can't just go into a sperm bank and just grab a bunch of sperm.
Yeah, you can.
Shoot it up.
Yes, you can.
Oh no, you cannot.
We robbing a sperm bank?
A woman can. There's a process that a woman has to go through. Men have donated their sperm.
And
A
then
woman can go to a sperm bank and get sperm
you can donate
without
eggs,
without any male sign off. She can literally go to a sperm bank and get inseminated and then have
because
a child.
it's paper. There was a legal piece that was already
But it's
paper
not.
signed.
But it has nothing to do with a man, though.
But I thought didn't they have to do the waiver ahead of time?
Yeah, you have to do all that stuff. Yes, there's legal pieces. I think we're going in the
Yes,
All right,
the
let's
sperm
stay
came from
on-
the man.
Let's stay on topic.
I was just gonna give our like at least my
Go
2
ahead.
cents on it. I know you didn't call me, but I just wanted to like go
No,
back.
go ahead.
Nah,
But, I personally don't believe that there's a superior race. I feel like, not
Gender.
race, sorry, gender.
Gender.
I feel like we all need each other in some way, shape, or form. Yes, women are amazing. I will agree with that. But at the same time, I just feel like you can't have one without the other. I feel like we it's like yin and yang, and we bring something to the table. Each of us does, and to say that one's better than the other, I just don't agree with that.
Right. I definitely don't think that there's an individual gender. I don't think that there's a superior gender. I think that there are some people that are better than others. So there's always going to be someone better than the other. It doesn't matter what gender they are. Like, okay, perfect example. How they, how like they want to go and get rid of the W and WNBA. Like, I just think that there's gonna be some girls that could be better than some guys in certain sports. That doesn't necessarily mean that like, oh, well, girls are better than men in basketball or vice versa. It's just like maybe you're just more inclined to play this activity than the other. So that's why I wouldn't say that there's one set gender. And then how would you even, figure out this?
Like, what is the guidelines for superior anyway? Like, what would be the
Yes. Exactly.
It's subjective. I make my own guidelines. You just have to deal with it.
No, but I think you nailed it because and that's the reason why again, not trying to say that I'm trying to fight for men to stay on some kind of pedestal. Of course, there needs to be a balancing in the workforce. We still see, there's obviously a crazy imbalance when it comes to men and women. But my point is just that every single time that we start getting into these conversations when it comes to who's superior, it's basically an argument saying one doesn't need the other. And that's where it really starts going. And I think that's just, we just need to walk away from that, because there are things that women bring to the table that a man cannot bring to the table. And then I feel like it's vice versa. And we just need to respect and appreciate each other for those things.
All right, great points, everyone. And that'll actually top off the Q&A piece. And now we're going to jump into hit or miss. This is going to go really quick. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to call on someone to address whether or not the double standard or bias is valid or false. So that'd be hit or miss. So basically just go over the rules. Panel members will be selected at random to state their claim on the validity or falseness of a gender bias or double standard men and women experience in relationships, work, and society. A true or valid point is considered a hit, and a false claim is considered a miss. After the selected panelist states their opinion, a moment will be provided to the other panelists to object or support the claim. And here's a test question I prepared for the ladies of Allegedly Credible. Bonnets are also meant to be worn outside of the house. Hit
oh gosh,
or
I'm talking
miss?
about bonnets.
I personally don't like wearing bonnets outside. I don't even like wearing bonnets to bed. So I would be like, no, I don't believe bonnets should be worn outside the house. I just don't believe they should be worn in general because they're uncomfortable. That's just me personally.
I think that they can be worn outside the house, especially if it's raining outside. Shit. You ain't gonna mess up my hair.
So we draw a fine draw there then. All right, perfect. All right, so let's start off. We're going to start off with relationships and dating. I'm going to direct this question to Danielle. Women that identify, or statement to Danielle, women that identify as heterosexual but experimented or chance sexual encounters with other women are deemed attractive or enact in normal feminine behavior. However, men that identify as heterosexual but experimented or chance sexual encounters with other men are deemed unattractive, down low, deceitful, hit or miss.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. You mean like the statement of they're just automatically deceitful for dating with like experimenting?
Exactly.
Like if you dated a man who told you that he had sexual experiences with another man, would you be okay with that? Would you?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I would struggle. I would definitely struggle with it, but I am gonna say I appreciate the honesty. I wouldn't necessarily consider them less of a man or something like that, but I definitely would say I would struggle with it because of just I would just have all different types of questions. And also, yeah, I just want to know, were you like receiving or were you giving? Like,
Damn.
Out the
That sounds
gate.
like a pass.
That reminds me of that Insecure episode where
exactly.
Molly had that issue
I
where.
think I would struggle with it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
So that's a hit then.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a hit. That's a hit.
Yeah.
Any interjection from the group?
No, I just think that's interesting too, because in society, you know, if it's women on women, it's like, oh, like I think it's just open.
Yeah.
Women. At least you should have had at least one female partner growing up. Kiss the girl.
Double standards are real.
I kissed the girl.
Okay.
No, it's
Okay,
all good.
Katy Perry.
It's the expectation. But if it's a dude, nah, bro, you better chill. I mean,
yeah, it would be a hit. Yeah.
I mean, I think even big amongst the men is it's a no.
Yeah, even amongst the men.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like, nah, bro.
Let's get to the next one. And this one's inspired by our listeners, the Real Fit Honey and Flo Marie. I'll direct this one to Francis. Women with high body counts or multiple sexual encounters are deemed whores, loose, or promiscuous. But men with high body counts are considered high value, standard, pretty much enacting normal male behavior. Hit or miss?
Awesome, miss. I mean, I feel like women should be able to do the things men do, especially nowadays. You know, we all, if you're single and you enjoying life and experimenting, do you, baby girl? So it's a miss for me.
Any interjection?
I'm just gonna say that I agree. I completely agree. Like I'm just kind of like I never understood it. It's just like if you're gonna call a woman or whatever a slut or whatever for sleeping with a whole bunch of men, but a man sleeps with a whole bunch of women, I feel like we either both sluts or we both
exactly. Exactly.
So I'm like, nah, it has to be the same. That to me, fairness. That's it. I agree with that statement.
We both sluts.
All right, so let's get to the next one. Men are expected to pay all of the bills, mortgage, utilities, car, services, while women are expected to use their income on themselves. Let's direct that one over to D Black. Hit or miss?
For me, I think that's a hit, just because I'm very traditional, and the reason why I say it's just like that's how I am. Like I feel like, I'm only gonna apply these rules to my household. You know, I guess I can answer in a societal standpoint, because right now, gender roles are moving, they're shifting. It's constantly evolving. So people can, you know, like a female could be working and making all the money, but at least for me in my house, I mean, I'm just more traditional. I like to be a breadwinner. I like to support my wife. I like to make sure she's able to, if she wants to work, you know, buy what she wants with her money. But I feel like my money is the house's money. Like it's not for me. It's for paying bills, doing whatever. It's not really for leisure. It's for being responsible and making sure that we're straight. While her money is for, she wants to, you know, go out with her girls or do whatever, then that's what her money should be for.
Any objections?
No. Mel shaking her head. Mel,
no, because first of all, what if like the man wasn't good with the finances and then y'all go bankrupt, or what if the girl can't cook?
That part.
But that's why I said. That's why I said. All right, good. That's a good counter. But I'm saying that's
You
why.
get in where you fit in. That's what it is.
No, that's why I said it's a good counter because in society, and that's why I kind of like even contradicted myself because I feel like in society, I agree with you. Like in general, there's no lines like that. But that's what I said for my house. I know I'm really good with finances, and my wife can throw down like a motherfucker. So
and that's good. I respect that. I definitely respect because I know a lot of people, especially in my family. I mean, granted, it's an older generation that was like that, but I mean, if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, then don't try to make it work because it won't work.
Yeah, too
I'm just gonna say on top of that, I don't know. I think because I basically buy everything myself anyway, so I don't even know what it would be like for a man to pay my bills or anything like that. So I don't even know. Maybe if I had the option, I might like it, but because I'm so used to just paying everything myself, I don't think it would be an issue for me. Like, I don't think I need a guy to pay all my stuff because I already do it.
I think it'll be a relief. My wife was the same way until I started paying for everything. There wasn't any complaints. It's nothing against her, but it was just like she paid for all her stuff, and I came into the picture, and I was just like, "Hey, I have all this. What's mine is yours. What's yours is yours. That's fine. As long as I have an Xbox, a bed to sleep in, and some potato chips to eat, I'm set."
Way too simple. Way too simple, bro.
I like that. That sounds like my husband.
Yeah. I mean, I do think whatever works for your household is what it is. It's not. I don't think there's a right answer to it, to be honest. But
there's no.
All right, so let's get to the next one then, and I'll direct this one over to Mel. And this was also inspired by our listener, Flo Marie. Older men that date younger women are often applauded and praised. However, older women that date younger men are considered desperate, thirsty, or cradle robbers. Hit or miss?
Oh, I definitely think that is I say that it's a hit, but I don't necessarily agree with it because I just think that, you I'm sorry, but I know for a fact that I'm not gonna go for some old man because I want to go for someone that I can relate to, and I don't relate to an older man. Like, what are we gonna talk about? The Cold War?
Damn, how old you going though? Hey, why he gotta be that old? Why he can't be like 10 years older or something like that?
No, she wanted when he had like 10 years left, so they should get.
my standpoint, I like relationships. Like, if we went to high school together and we can relate on that level, then we're cool. Whether you're, 3 years older than me or 3 years below me, like, we were still able to go through that section of life together. I don't want you talking about like, oh, I used to listen to I don't know,
Petty LaBelle, Big Mama Thornton, like Chuck Berry.
Holiday. That's it.
I just want to be able to relate with you, and I don't think that it's nice that you gotta go and shame the woman because they over there cradle robbing some young man, wiping the milk behind their ears.
Put my 2 cents in this only because I'm definitely gonna say it's a hit because I have dated an older guy and I have also dated a younger guy. And the older guy, when he was like approaching me and everything, I think more among my female friends, they were a little bit more disgusted, but I feel like my male friends were just like, oh yeah, that's so great. Like, to that guy, because they were just like, yeah, that's great, whatever. But then when I started dating a younger guy, I feel like on both sides, I kind of got like, they're not mature enough. They're not this, like,
girl, what you doing?
Yeah, like, that kind of thing. Like, I got questioned way more for dating a younger guy than I got questioned for dating an older guy.
I questioned you were old.
You did question me. But like, definitely, because I even had a friend literally last week, we were talking and she's like, Danielle, get yourself an older guy. And I'm just kind of like, what? And when I told her, well, I dated a younger guy, she was just like, why would you do that? That's just don't do that. So I definitely think that's a hit. That's a true statement.
It's a true statement. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, I don't
definitely
agree with it, but it's just a true statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And these don't have to reflect your actual personal opinions. It could just be the overall perception. That's fine as well. So let's get into the workplace. I'm gonna direct this one over to Danielle. In order to excel in the workplace, women are also expected to look the part. Meanwhile, men are able to excel in most, if not all, facets of the workplace despite their appearances. Is that a hit or miss?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a hit because of the office that I work in. I feel like the women in my office are definitely more judged for what they wear versus the males in the office. I feel like, yeah, I can agree with that. I definitely feel like and it's kind of crazy because it's not just the people who comment the most on like certain women that are trying to move up based on the way they dress are actually other women versus men. So I think that's kind of interesting, but I do agree with that. I feel like there's a definitely a double standard of like, well, this person needs to dress more professional, quote unquote, if they want to move up in this company. And I feel like that's a hit. That's very true.
Any interjections, objections?
Nah, man.
Nope.
I that.
Yeah, I agree.
This one I'll nail over to Chunky. Male bosses that are demeaning, loud, forward, and direct are acceptable. However, female bosses are expected to be soft-toned, sympathetic, and compassionate. Hit or miss?
That's a miss. So the way I look at leadership, yelling and shit like that, demeaning, no one should do that, period. If I have to address you with something, I'm going to address you like a human being and let you know your flaws and errors. And a woman that's soft-toned, so you don't have to be soft-toned. I had a good boss that was like, she told me she'll whoop my ass if I don't act right. Straight up, and she was short too. But she knew what buttons to hit for me in order to pretty much get me motivated. So when it comes down to leadership should be the same across the board in essence, that whatever a man does, a woman should do. Demeaning should not be a part of it. If you start yelling, you lose your authority. But I do appreciate leaders being direct and straightforward about shit. It's just, if I'm doing bad, just tell me I'm doing horrible. I'm a piece of shit. Just move on with my life. That's cool. But I like it when a female's strong and they take on that role and they pretty much put their foot down, saying that this is the way we need to move forward. That's highly respectable.
Put you over their knee and spank you. I know you like that, Chunky. I like a strong.
First of all, you're not
perfect.
I think Danielle was gonna say something.
I was gonna say I actually think that's a hit, and the reason why I say that is because I agree with Junkie. That's how it should be, but I don't necessarily think that's how it actually works, because I've had jobs where I've had male managers and female managers who pretty much acted the same. And the male managers, I never really heard people like call them names compared to the female manager. They were called like bitchy, they were called a whole bunch of different names that I'm like, yo, like they act just like so-and-so. Not that saying that they were right for being demeaning or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, if you're gonna call out both, if you're going to call out one person for acting this way, which happened to be a female, but you're not going to call out the male person for acting this way, I think there's an issue. But I do feel like that's a hit. Like that actually happens. People do treat like women differently in terms of how they're, I guess, respected in leadership roles based on gender. I do think that.
I would say somewhat of a miss, because especially when you use the example about how the female gets called names and the male doesn't. I've had the same cases with like male and female managers, and if someone was acting out of pocket, it's like, yo, that's a dick right there. Like, like, why I gotta be an asshole? Like, I think that assholes doesn't matter what gender you are. Everybody got one, right?
Definitely
so we hope.
You're right.
All right. So we're gonna jump into society as well, and I'm gonna direct this one over to Dre. Men are not allowed to express their standards for beauty or attractiveness in a woman. However, women are allowed and expected to openly express their disdain for traits in a man they feel are unattractive and set the standards for attractiveness in men. Hit or miss?
I think this is one of those things where I think I'm okay with the double standard. So,
hit or miss.
uh,
Like I said, it doesn't have to reflect your particular point of view. You could always insert that, but on the claim,
I mean, I guess it's a miss. I guess if I'm going to be really consistent about it, I think men have to go about it a certain way, but I think it's okay for men to set standards for who they find attractive or what they want in their partner. I just think probably the Kevin Samuels approach is probably not the ideal way to go about it. But I do think that no one should have to be with someone that they don't want to be with. So I think that classifies as a miss, right? If that's what I'm saying.
Any objections?
Nah.
Looking at you, D. You pretty silent, brother.
Bruh.
I know you can't Kevin Samuels. I mean.
Oh God, stop doing that, bro. No, I think Dre hit it. I mean, he used probably better words, but ultimately, I feel like everybody should be able to choose and not choose who they want. And I think that ultimately, you know, if somebody's not your type, they're not your type, and it's okay for them not to be your type. You know what I mean? And I think it's important that you let them know that they're not your type, and you don't have to necessarily know the reason why.
There's just a respectful way to go about it too, though, which I think sometimes men are probably not the most respectful when it comes to
Nah, bro, I want that
No.
big booty Judy.
Oh gosh.
So if a girl's just like, yeah, I want that big dick Nick, get out my face. That's cool.
That's fine. That's
No,
completely
but that's fine. But no, all right. No, we got
more.
We can ask. All right, we can ask the panel. I mean, we can ask our guests, but I feel like when guys do that, if a guy says, "Hey, I don't like you because of this," you know, or "I like a girl with a bigger butt," or whatever, we're considered shallow.
Mm-hmm.
But if a girl tells me, "Hey, you're not 6'99",
yeah, you're not tall, you're
not 6'99", it doesn't. I'm supposed to be cool with that.
Yeah, you broke.
Or you broke.
Yeah, you broke. Your bank account. Yeah,
bro. You look like Chunky.
Light skin.
Like, I would just say that if someone did that to me, which has happened, I just say, okay, like, I just know where not to go for looking for love.
I think I'm a weirdo anyway. I prefer honesty anyway. So if you're not attracted to me, I'd rather you just tell me. Like, that's just me. I'm not gonna get butthurt. Like, whatever. Okay, it is what it is. I don't know. I can't speak in that term.
No.
If I'm not tall enough, if I'm bigger, so if I'm too big for you, whatever. Moving on.
I wouldn't say that they're not allowed. I think that everybody should be allowed to express their standards of beauty, because I just thought that was a thing. I just think
there's a respectful way to go about it. That's it. I just feel like
100%.
Yeah, don't be like, yo, your breast stink and your mom.
Exactly. So like a bag of Funyuns. All right, so I'll get into our last point, and I'll direct this one over to Mel. Women are expected to be the full caretakers of their children and take on multiple roles, and often subjected to criticism. However, men can do the very least or simplest of tasks and deemed good fathers. Hit or miss?
Miss. Especially in my household, we both made the decision and did the do to have this kid. We better keep that up. I'm not alone here. I mean, definitely I have my things that I have to do, because I have to go and hold the kid. And then after that, that's why I feel like it's imperative that there should be, it's not just maternity leave, it's parental leave. We both taking this kid, we both need the same amount of time. Because even during the pregnancy stage, I'm relying a lot on my man to pick up where I can't walk. Took me off this couch, like that it's very taxing. So we both need that break to recuperate and to figure out who is this individual living in my house now?
There's an invader in here.
That's true though.
Facts.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
true.
All right.
No,
So I guess
that's a miss.
I
thank
love that.
you.
Just say you did the deed. Now let's continue working on it. We made the
You just gonna
decision
leave
together.
me for some milk and never show up again. I'm gonna find you. I gotta find
I mean, sometimes it's hard to find that formula. It may take me 4 hours.
you just gotta let me know that you need a break because I totally get it. Sometimes I just leave the house and blast in sync, and I feel a lot better when I come back 5 hours later.
Which song?
The whole album, obviously.
Nah, I don't know. Bye 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 is my favorite.
Oh man.
All
Baby
right.
talk.
So I guess on that note, are there any closing comments from our guests, allegedly credible? I guess on this subject that you'd like to share?
The only comment I really have to say is I definitely feel like at the end of the day, we all need each other in some way, shape, or form. And there are strengths and weaknesses that we each have. And we should just work together to figure out how to make it work. I mean, we're all different. I feel like we're all different for a reason, and we should just kind of embrace our differences instead of trying so hard to, like, I guess, set ourselves apart in terms of I'm better than that. Like one is better than the other, because at the end of the day, we all need each other.
Facts. All right. Any other closing points?
I was gonna say something similar to that. Just to piggyback off of Danielle, there, like I said before, there's always gonna be someone better than the other, and it's not necessarily a factor of gender or sex. It's more based off the individual. And when we get over that hump, when we break out of the social norms, I feel like it's gonna make the world a better place, because especially in American society, we like to simplify things and compartmentalize things. But not everything is necessarily black and white, and I think that we should have an open mind especially as times keep changing.
Facts.
Love
Facts. All right. Well, thank you very much, ladies. And once more, thank you again for joining us today. It was a pleasure, Belle, going what you're going through. Thank you for being strong with us, especially with the time. Thank you very much for that. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having us on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I know.
It was so much fun. Definitely call us anytime.
All right.
Nah,
So for more,
in South Orange.
no doubt. So for more content or to learn what our next topic will be, please check us out at JJC Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Podcast episodes drop every Wednesday if you don't already know. We'd like to give a big thank you to our guests, Danielle and Mel of the Allegedly Credible podcast, for joining us today. And just in case anyone missed it, can you just go ahead and give us a refresher on how they can reach you and your podcast?
You can reach us on allegedlycredible.com on our website. You can also find us on Spotify, Anchor app, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on Facebook under Allegedly Credible, and Instagram as well at Allegedly Credible. Yep.
All right, perfect. So stay tuned for the outro coming right up after this to learn additional ways to reach the Jerk Jollof and Collard Greens podcast and send us your feedback. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, both Allegedly Credible and Jerk Jollof and Collard Greens. Ladies, we will definitely be in touch for the next discussion. Everybody stay well, peace, and love.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
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 And that concludes today's episode, but that doesn't mean the conversation has to end. As a matter of fact, feel free to check us out at JJC Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter for our post-discussion question following the release of this episode. If you are a Black or minority business owner or professional that would like to be featured on the Rep Yours segment of our show, or a listener with some general feedback for the podcast panel, feel free to shoot us an email at jjcpod@gmail.com. As always, likes and comments are always appreciated. Be sure to subscribe or follow to be notified when the next episode releases. And until then, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.